Hi, my name's Declan Reynolds, and today I'm here to talk to you about content marketing and search engine optimization, the differences between the two and how they work together. So, what is SEO, or search engine optimization? Search engine optimization is the process of affecting the visibility of a website or a web page in a search engine's natural or unpaid organic search results. What is content marketing? Content marketing is any marketing format that involves the creation and sharing of media and publishing content in order to acquire customers. This information can be presented in a variety of formats, including news, video, white papers, ebooks, infographics, case studies, how-to guides, questions and answers, articles, photos, etc., etc. Now, let's talk about SEO for a while. SEO is typically focused on data and metrics in the search world. It's about researching data and calculating what it takes to make a site visible and anticipating what may bring traffic to a site and how much traffic. SEO agencies will spend a lot of time researching keyword data to understand how to optimize content to ensure it shows up as high as possible on Google. SEO also involves monitoring and finding trends in searcher behavior so that the company can create the best possible content on an ongoing basis. It is important to understand the focus of SEO is creating content to match Google's data and ensure the search engine finds your site at a time when people are actively looking for a solution. A user searches using Google. Google matches a website or websites to the query. A user visits the website and a purchase decision is made. Now, 71% of purchase decisions are started with a search engine. Content marketing involves a strategy where careful consideration is given to your company, its goals and its services. A strategy is then put in place on how you should engage your audience across the purchase lifecycle. So here's an image of the average buying cycle. Your particular business's buying cycle may differ, but it will be something like this. You have awareness of the product, then they research the product, they'll do comparisons with other products, then they'll purchase, and then it's your ability to retain those customers or clients and get them to purchase more. A lot of people view SEO and content marketing as different sciences. We believe the two are entwined in a comprehensive strategy and one affects the other. We believe the two overlap. SEO and content strategy should be used together as part of a holistic strategy. Some people think that SEO is not important. I've heard people say SEO is dead. Now, if SEO is driving people to your website when an important decision is to be made, how can this not form part of your strategy? This sounds pretty important to me. Let's look at how people normally structure a website. Quite often when we start with a client, they generally give us a sitemap based on theory. By this I mean a client may call and say, I need a website that has homepage, about us, services and contact. This approach is theory based. Sometimes this is content that they should have on the site or they need on the site, but does it help the site get found by Google? Probably not. It is not based on data that proves what users are actually searching for in the search world. Without data, the content cannot be optimized. No one is searching for homepage, about us, services, or contact. Let's take a look at a specific example. In this example, we're using a lawyer. Now, Google matches people's search queries to content on your website. In this case, a lawyer might want to be found for phrases like lawyer Melbourne, property lawyer, or wills and probate. Now, if somebody searches for those phrases on Google and their website simply has home, about us, services, and contact, Google cannot match content on that website to those phrases. So what we do is we research what people are searching for, we find out the phrases people are searching for, and this tells us what pages to put on the website. So in this case, if we put pages on the website which were optimized for lawyer Melbourne, property law, wills and probate, Google would be able to match those pages to the phrases people are searching for. This is SEO in its most basic format. If done correctly, it helps you create a strategy and structure for your website based on proven data, not theory. It is more complex than this though. You don't just choose keywords randomly. You need to base your decisions on what is most relevant to you, how search phrases relate to your services, what stands the most chance of your website getting found, and what the competition is doing in relation to those terms. You do not base it purely on the basis that it has high search queries. You also need to take into consideration external considerations like the value of the keyword, the competition, the search volume, and you need to look at your website, the links to your website, the age of your domain, the age of your website, and of course the content on your website. Now, let's look at an example. A few years ago, we did a strategy for two ladies setting up as business coaches. They came to us with phrases such as business coach, business coaching, and business improvement. During the research for their company, we found that business coaching in general was extremely competitive. We knew that a brand new site focusing on these services would have a long-term challenge on their hands to make sure that the website ranked well. We went away and did lots of research for them and came back with a ton of keywords. We found lots of good, lower competition search phrases that we thought might be relevant or closely related to their services. During the presentation, the clients requested a break, and afterwards they expressed amazement at the data presented to them and asked if they could take the data and then come back after they'd looked at it. A few weeks later we met again and they said that the data we had presented had inspired them to completely revise their business plan and change the focus. The research had completely changed the outlook of the business, and they were now looking at focusing on services for coaching for managers, workplace coaching, coaching skills training, and lots of other phrases that they hadn't considered before. Now let's discuss the SEO process. First of all, we will do a workshop with the client, and we'll go away and do our initial research. We gather lots of data, and then we analyze that data, and we analyze the online competitors. We then come back to you with content suggestions. We present these to you. We'll refine them with you. And then from that information, we create a final sitemap for the website. Now, during that process, you'll notice that I said we look at online competitors. It's very important that you understand the difference between your online competitors and your bricks and mortar competitors. Realistically, your competitors are probably not who you think they are in the online space. There is a difference between the companies you know or admire and the ones that are succeeding online. Now, let's look at some examples of that. Who do you think would show up in the top of Google if we search for mortgage Melbourne? Here we show some results for that specific phrase. Highlighted at the top and to the right are the paid search results. Now, there's some very big companies in there that everybody in Australia will know and recognize. But if we look further down the page in the organic results, you'll see some companies that you have never heard of or have hardly ever heard of that are succeeding online in the organic space. The results and outcomes of a good search engine optimization strategy are an optimized structure for your website, optimized content for your website, optimized on-page factors, a website that attracts leads from search engines, knowledge of what competitors are succeeding online, knowledge of what you need to do to beat them, guidelines for creating optimized content marketing as well. Now let's look more at content marketing. We see content marketing as an evolution of search engine optimization. It used to be that the focus was search engine optimization, but then Google evolved to improve the way it finds content for its users. It shifted focus and content marketing became the new way of doing things. Now, whereas SEO attracts search queries to the site when actively looking for a solution, content marketing is an approach that emphasizes the thoughtful creation of content for a particular audience designed to influence an action or outcome. The content can be discovered in numerous ways outside of a search engine search. As we identified earlier, content marketing is generally used to create content and attract people throughout the buying cycle. Now let's go into that buying cycle a little bit more. Firstly, you have awareness. Now, people will become aware of the product through using search engines, pay-per-click advertising, through social media, through search engine optimization, and banner adverts. When people are researching, you might have how-to videos, white papers, blog posts, industry experts, videos, interviews, newsletters, ebooks, articles, and brochures. After that, people start to compare your product. So you might engage them on social media. You might have case studies of your product. You might have free trials, a price estimator. You might do product demonstration videos or video testimonials. Then hopefully the client makes a purchase decision, but you still want to have content, for example, implementation of the best training videos or how to best use your product or service. After that, you have to retain your customer. So you might do that through social media, obviously, or you might have Q&A sessions online. You might send out newsletters to keep them updated, and you might post sales and support videos. This is all content being delivered across the buying life cycle, and this is what Google is wanting you to do. So, how do they work together? Now, as we said before, content marketing is an evolution. How do you know what content to create as part of your content marketing strategy? Well, if we look at the search engine optimization process again, and we look at the first few items of that process, workshop, initial research, data gathering, content suggestions, online competitor analysis, and analysis of data, all of those steps help us understand what content to create across your content marketing strategy. Content marketing then becomes creating the right strategy and choosing the right platforms to disseminate your content on. The content created for your site, based on research, can then be repurposed across lots of different platforms. The outcomes of a strategy like this are a wide broadcast of your message, consistency in your message, expertise being demonstrated on platforms your target market use, and a broader awareness across varying demographics. Let's look at some reasons to engage in content marketing. 61% of consumers say they feel better about a company that delivers custom content. 7 out of 10 consumers prefer to learn about a company through articles, not adverts. 68% of consumers spend time reading content from a brand they are interested in. 78% of consumers believe that organizations providing custom content want to build good relationships. 90% of consumers find custom content useful. Social media and blogs account for 23% of all time spent online. This is where good design is imperative. You have to deliver all this content to a wide audience on different platforms. It is therefore imperative that the design is right to make sure your potential customers connect your company and your brand to your content in a consistent manner. You have all types of platforms and devices, and they must be well designed and consistent across those platforms. When a user interacts with your brand online, perceptions are made. So you have to consider your core brand's values and make sure these are reflected with every aspect of your strategy. Remember, if you are delivering content across the product lifecycle, then users will dip in and dip out at different times. If the brand or messages are not clearly defined and the design is not well branded enough to be memorable, your business could suffer across the purchase lifecycle. So, is it all worth it? And how do you calculate the ROI from an SEO project? Now, to do this in advance, we need to know how many monthly searches are there for each phrase. We use the Google keyword tool, and what is the click-through rate for each phrase. Google Analytics tells us that. And how well does each phrase convert? First, let's consider how many clicks each position on page 1 should be worth. The top 10 spots have these click-through rates according to a study. Position 1, 18.2%, position 2, 10%, position 3, 7.2%, position 4, 4.8%, and position 5, 3.1%. Now, imagine you have a phrase and it gets 10,000 searches per month. Let's assume you want to rank number 5. Therefore, we predict a 3.1% of 10,000 equals 310 leads. Your conversion rate for that phrase is, let's say, 1%. Therefore, the expectation is 3.1 sales per month. Now, If you were getting 3.1 sales per month and each sale earns you $5,000, that's $15,500 per month. That's $186,000 per annum, less the costs of your content that you create. You can also compare this to what people pay on AdWords. Imagine you have the same phrase, it gets 10,000 searches per month again, but you pay for AdWords rather than invest in organic results. Therefore, we predict 3.1% of 10,000 is 310 leads. Your click-through rate, for the sake of consistency, is 1% again. Therefore, the expectation is 3.1 sales per month again. Now, if you have 310 clicks per month and you are paying $5 per click, which is 310 times 5 equals 1,550 paid to Google. The conversion again is 1%. Therefore, the expectation is 3.1 sales per month. 3.1 times 5,000, which is what the sale earns you, is 15,500 per month again. And this is 186,000 per annum in sales, less the 1,550 AdWord costs per month it takes to pay Google. This results in $167,400. If you compare the two, and we've used the same statistics, in reality, AdWords probably have a lower click-through rate than the organic results. But if you compare the two, you can see that organic results cost you less and therefore the profitability is higher. AdWords are a good way to cheat and get to the top of Google's results and sell your product as quickly as possible. Whereas with organic, you are looking at a longer lead time. But over time, organic results are much more cost effective than AdWords. Now, let's look at some pros and cons. With AdWords, some pros are it's instant success. You get measurable results. They can be switched off or on at any time, and they are very targeted. The cons of AdWords are that the costs are high. The cost I've illustrated in this presentation are for one keyword only. Costs very quickly multiply depending on the amount of campaigns and keywords you target. They can be time consuming to manage, and they generally have lower click-through rates than organic results. Now let's look at some organic pros. Most people trust organic results more. You again have measurable results. The content costs are distributed across many keywords and content on your website. They're not just focused on one particular campaign generally, and they are more cost efficient over time. The cons of organic results are they can take a while to see results. Depending on the competition, it can take months, maybe even a year. They can be very time consuming to create that content for, and therefore the content can be quite costly.